There's something you need to hear, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You are not lazy. You are just scared. Scared of failing. Scared of looking foolish. Scared of starting and realizing you're not good enough. Scared that even if you do give it your all, it still won't be enough, so you hide. Behind your phone. Behind comfort. Behind half-hearted routines that make you feel productive, but keep you right where you are. You're not lazy. You're at war. There's a war happening inside you. A war between the version of you that's ready to rise and the version that's been sedated by doubt. That resistance you feel, that heaviness in your chest, that procrastination that makes you avoid the things you know matter, that's not laziness. That's fear dressed in silence. And if no one has told you this before, let me be the first. You were never meant to live numb. You were built for fire. But the world has taught you to hide that fire, to stay humble, to not stand out, to wait your turn, to wait for permission. And so you shrink. You build routines around survival. You stack your days with tasks that feel safe, familiar, manageable, but not meaningful. And here's the truth. That ache you feel deep inside you, that persistent frustration, it's your soul screaming for more. You were never meant to coast through life. You were meant to command it. But you can't command anything if you keep running from discomfort. Look around you. The people you admire, the ones who changed the world, the ones who built legacies, they weren't special. They were just willing to step into fear again and again until it stopped owning them. Thomas Edison didn't discover the light bulb on his first try. He failed 10,000 times, but he understood something most people don't. Failure isn't the end. It's the forge. Every single setback you face is an invitation, not to quit, not to run, but to rise. And the only thing standing between you and everything you say you want is the story you keep telling yourself. The story that says, I'm not ready, I'm not smart enough, I don't have the time, I'm just not that disciplined. Lies. Every last one of them. You are not your past, you are not your fears, you are not your mistakes, you are potential waiting for ignition. But ignition doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you decide. Decide to stop waiting, decide to stop making comfort your God, decide to stop hiding behind someday, because someday is a myth, a lie sold to people who are too afraid to move. There is only one day that matters, today. And today, you can make a different choice. You can choose to rise. You can choose to break the loop. You can choose to face the fear instead of fleeing from it. You don't need more time. You don't need more motivation. You don't even need more information. You need conviction. You need that inner moment, the one where you slam your fist on the table and say, I'm done living beneath my potential. This is your wake-up call, your line in the sand. Because make no mistake, this isn't just about goals or dreams or ambition. This is about your identity. Every action you take either strengthens the person you're becoming or feeds the version of you you're trying to outgrow. There is no neutral. There is no standing still. You're either becoming sharper, stronger, bolder, or you're being softened by fear and distraction. Look around. Look at your habits. Look at how you speak to yourself. Look at what you tolerate. That will tell you everything you need to know about where you're headed. But the good news, if you don't like the direction, you can change it. And you don't have to wait for January 1st. You don't need to hit rock bottom. You don't need some traumatic wake-up call. All you need is this moment, right here, right now. Discomfort is the door, courage is the key, and action is the only way through. You keep thinking motivation will save you. You wait for that perfect morning when you finally feel like it. But here's the raw truth. Motivation is a myth. It comes after action, not before it. You don't wait for the fire and you strike the match. And what is the match? It's showing up, even when your mind screams for comfort, even when your body says, not today, even when every voice inside whispers, what's the point? That is the point. You break through by going through. One step, one task, one moment of defiance against the version of you that prefers to stay small. You think you're afraid of failure, but look deeper. What you're really afraid of is your own greatness, because greatness means change. It means letting go of the identity you've clung to for years, the identity that said you were lazy or average or not meant for more. And change is terrifying, not because of what it brings, but because of what it requires you to leave behind. You'll have to outgrow people. You'll have to disappoint others. You'll have to look in the mirror and say, I've been bullshitting myself. And most won't do that. They'll choose ease. They'll numb. They'll stay busy instead of being honest. But not you, because somewhere inside you, beneath the layers of hesitation, beneath the self-doubt, beneath the noise of the world, there is a fire. A voice that's been whispering since you were a child. You are meant for more. You've buried it. You've ignored it. But it hasn't gone away. It shows up every time you feel that sting of envy. Every time you see someone doing what you wish you had the guts to do. Every time you lie awake at night asking yourself, is this really it? No, this is not it. This is just the beginning. And no, it won't be easy. Growth never is. But that's the point. If it were easy, everyone would live their dreams. Everyone would be fearless. Everyone would leave a legacy. But legacy is earned through sacrifice, through discipline, through choosing the path of purpose over pleasure. And purpose isn't found in a journal or a podcast. It's found in the trenches, in the repetition, in the willingness to do what others won't, especially when no one's clapping for you. You build your future in silence, in early mornings and lonely nights, in skipped parties and double shifts, in rejected ideas and rewritten plans. You build it every time you say, this matters more. And when you choose that long enough, consistently enough, something starts to shift. Your identity starts to change. Not just how the world sees you, how you see yourself. You stop calling yourself lazy. You stop making excuses. You stop seeing effort as punishment and start seeing it as the price of freedom. And that is the beginning of everything. You see, freedom isn't the absence of discipline. It's the result of it. The people who seem the most free, the ones who move with purpose, build legacies, live bold, aren't free because they do whatever they want. They're free because they train their mind to do what needs to be done, especially when it's inconvenient. Discipline isn't a restriction. It's a declaration. It says, my vision matters more than my mood. My future matters more than my comfort. My purpose is louder than my fear. And once you understand that, you start to see your habits differently. You realize you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your patterns. You can set all the intentions you want. You can write your goals on your mirror. You can watch 100 motivational videos. But if you don't change your habits, you're just redecorating a prison. And the greatest prison? It's not bars. It's not walls. It's a mind that still believes the lie that says, this is just who I am. Number who you are is not fixed. It's forged. And you forge it every day, in the moments when no one is watching, in the decision to rise early, to move your body, to silence your phone, to focus on what matters. No applause, no recognition, just you and the war between who you've been and who you're becoming. That's the real fight. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. It's always going to be a fight. There is no finish line. There is no final victory, because every day fear will knock on your door. Doubt will whisper in your ear. Comfort will seduce you with the promise of just this once. But now, you know better. You know that every time you choose strength over ease, every time you say yes to what matters and no to what doesn't, you take the power back. You stop being a prisoner of your past. You stop being a victim of your emotions. You stop being owned by a version of yourself that was never the real you. because deep down you've always known you were made for more. Not in some ego-driven way, not for fame, not for followers, but because there's a fire inside you that refuses to die. And every time you shrink, it burns. Every time you play small, it aches. Every time you pretend you don't care, it reminds you that you do. That fire is sacred. It's your birthright, and it's time to honor it. Not tomorrow, not next month. Now, because the longer you wait, the louder the voice of fear becomes, and the quieter your soul gets, until one day the fire that could have lit up the world is reduced to ash. But that doesn't have to be your story. You are not lazy. You were just never taught how to fight back, how to take command of your mind, how to reclaim your identity, how to train your brain to win. But now you're learning. Now you're seeing. Now you're rising. You've been told to wait, to be patient, to be realistic, to tone it down, to know your place. But tell me, where has that gotten you? You've tried being quiet. You've tried fitting in. You've tried playing it safe. And all it's done is kill your fire slowly, not with disaster, but with distraction, with tiny compromises, with later, with maybe, with I'm tired. But the truth? You're not tired. You're unaligned. You're uninspired. You're at war with a life you know isn't yours. And that war, the one that rages in your chest every time you go to bed frustrated, every time you wake up dreading the day, every time you scroll past someone doing what you know you're meant to do, that war will not stop until you decide to fight back. Not with words, with action, not with someday, with now. Because someday people build dreams on quicksand, but now people build empires on rock. And no, you won't feel ready. You won't have all the answers. But neither did the giants before you. Henry Ford didn't have permission. Walt Disney didn't have certainty. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't have guarantees. What they had was conviction. They had a mind trained to believe in something bigger than their fear. And that's all you need. A reason, a line in the sand, a decision that says, I've played small for the last time. So what will you do? Keep playing dead so the world stays comfortable? Or awaken fully and make the world uncomfortable with your brilliance? Because you do have brilliance. It's in your vision. It's in your voice. It's in your willingness to rise again after everyone else would have quit. You are not lazy. You are a sleeping giant. And now that giant is opening its eyes. And when it does, the world will feel it. So here's your final moment. No more scrolling. No more wishing. No more waiting for the right time. You were not built for the bench. You were built for the arena, and it's time to step in. Your future self is watching, not from some dream, from the mirror. And he's not asking you to be perfect. He's asking you to start right now, right here, as you are, with what you have, because that's all it takes. Because that's all it takes. Not perfection, courage, not clarity, commitment, not more time, a decision to rise, to fight back, to take command of the war inside your mind, the war that tells you to sleep in, to quit early, to settle, to give up. You've heard that voice long enough. It's lied to you long enough. It's kept you small, afraid, doubtful, and apologetic. And now you're done. No more bowing to fear. No more shrinking to fit the mold. No more hiding your hunger because it makes others uncomfortable. This is your life, your time, your battlefield. And no one else can fight this war for you. But once you step in, once you take back the reins, once you begin moving with conviction and fire, the world will open. Not because it changed, but because you did. The war in your mind doesn't end in a single battle. It's a lifetime of choosing courage over comfort, conviction over convenience, destiny over doubt. But each time you choose, you win, you grow, you rise. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll look around and see a life that once felt impossible, now undeniable. A mind that once doubted everything, now grounded in purpose. A voice that once whispered fear, now thunders with power. And in that moment, you'll realize it was never laziness. It was never weakness. It was fear, and you faced it. It was doubt, and you crushed it. It was the invisible war, and you won, not once, but every day you chose to fight, and that made all the difference.